Hey guys, hope you all are doing okay. So, real quick, I need to make this quick because I got to be out of the house here in another hour and a half or so. But I want to take a look at both of my North Korean Type 60 parts kits that I got from Atlantic. This is from the last drop that came around. So, I've got it on the second one, which was around, I think, the 650 mark for no weldment kits. Both of these are non-weldment kits. But this last one was also on, because that was non-weldment, it was at the 750 mark. So they're slowly getting more expensive. Both of these were purchased from Atlantic. If you can get them from Atlantic when they have their drops, do so. Most of the time, when you get them on the secondhand market, people are scalping the shit out of them because they are North Korean designed. They're not even really North Korean made. Current working theory is that they are made on purchased North Korean tooling, either in some African country and eventually sold to Lebanon or made in Lebanon on purchased tooling. So, just want to get that out of the way. These things are really overhyped, in my opinion. They're cool, don't get me wrong, but depending on what you're getting, you may have some problems to deal with. Much more than just oversized components. So, this is from the most recent drop. Let me get this out of the way. It's something unrelated. So, big thing here is, what are the North Korean features? Okay. Well, to start off, the North Korean trigger guards are a thin stamping, and they generally have a rib that runs in the center from the pressed fold. So these are made um, in a stamping die, and they're just hammered out like that, I suppose. But they seem to have I don't know if all of them have a milled magazine latch, or if there's some variations. This one's not in the best condition. This kit overall wasn't in the greatest condition, but I did get some parts in this that otherwise I'm missing on my other one. So, for example, I did not get a selector stop plate on the other kit. So having this in hand, I'm going to see if I can buy one if it's not insanely priced. If it, worst comes to worst, I'll just have to make my own. They do have a unique shape to them. But another uniquely North Korean feature is a short grip screw. As a matter of fact, let me pause this real quick. I want to go ahead and grab the furniture because I forgot to get the rest of it. Okay, there we go. Got the rest of the furniture. But swinging back over to the pistol grip plate, or grip stud, I mean. I've seen some of these with 2 rivet holes. This one, or 2 rivet holes, some have 3, like some of the more recent Type 3s had. Like the Bulgarian ones, I think most of those are two rivet studs in the back. But this is a really unique grip screw. I don't know why they did it so short, but they basically bored out the grip almost to the very end here to accommodate for that. Again, I'm not really sure why they did that. I don't think that was true for the original Type 58, because the Type 58 milled AK-47 was strictly a copy of the original Russian Type 3, just like the original milled Chinese Type 56. They were really licensed copies, and some of those design features would carry over to the stamped guns. So I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but like I said, I'm a little bit short on time. So sticking with the furniture for a moment. So these should all be, I believe it's catalpa wood, which is pretty unique to the Korean peninsula. So handguard looks to be North Korean to me. I think I can sort of make out the I don't know if I call it a lightning cut, but it's almost like a reverse palm swell where they have an indentation. This one may or may not have it. With the export guns, you really don't it really could go either way, because it depends on what the customer wanted, and it's not strictly the same features as what you would find on the domestic guns. Good example of that is the top cover. Now, the top cover that came with this kit, to the best of my knowledge, I think this is either Polish or it's, well, it could be Bulgarian. But my current guesstimation is it's probably Chinese. Um, I know on the Mac 90s, the serial stamping is on this part here on the left hand side, but on this one we have no letter prefix of any kind. It's just numbers. Well, so if I don't see any letters, if it's just all numbers, the the KBK Polish milled guns, a lot of those were just numbers only, and like I said, the Chinese only use numbers on their top covers. So I think that's a Type 56 top cover, but I don't know for sure. This kit, because it's rough, and honestly, some of these parts are not usable, unfortunately, and they're getting replaced. I bought replacements. Got a good deal on them. This is going to be a fixed stock clone, so this top cover might actually work in my favor, because a lot of the photos, it can go either or, but a lot of the photos I've seen of the fixed stock domestic guns, they had smooth top covers. So I don't think there were really any hard and fast rules with the Type 68, or with North Korea in general. So it could really go either way. I'm not super concerned about it. But as far as the parts that are not usable, well, maybe they are usable. I just don't want to deal with trying to fix them. This gas tube is rough. Yeah. Get that to focus a little bit. That front retainer is pretty much blown out entirely. It was probably, looks like it was flux welded at some point. Maybe it fell off. The spot welds weren't good. And there was a lot of grinding done on the back of this retainer here. So the inside, I don't know if I can get a good picture. It's rough. You can actually see on the front where the bottom weld is actually blown out from under. So, and I can't get this handguard off without destroying it. I'm convinced of that. So when it gets to this point, and luckily this isn't matching to the gun, so I'm not really upset about it. I got there's a replacement gas tube coming in, again, non-matching, different serial number, but that one at least is in half decent shape. I mean, this, I would not say this is really usable. So I'll sell that as a for parts or repair sort of deal. Likewise, the underfolding stock is extremely wobbly, to the point where you would probably need a spacer in the legs themselves to keep this thing reasonably tight. I mean, it works, but I mean, this thing is just all over the place. Here's a shot of the rear trunnion. Again, this is non-matching, so I don't care to sell it. Make some of my money back. Gas block is also rough, like a lot of other stuff with this kit. You can see the holes, the rear hole, well, both of these are really badly ovaled out, wallowed out. I don't know if that was because of a rough demel, if it was always like that, but the gas block, or the bayonet lug itself, it looks like something fell on this, and it's kind of mushroomed out. If I can get this to focus. I'm sorry about the focus, guys, but there we go. Bayonet probably wouldn't slide on that. And I don't really have the time to fumble with it. So I'd rather just I picked up a defanged one, but it's in better shape for about $50. So, honestly, with with what even these ratty parts are going for, um, I can make my money back, guys. So yeah, it's amazing what these things are going for. That's crazy. And on this one, actually, yeah, you can't really. I don't think you can see that, but there you go. Well, yeah, you really can't see it on from this angle, but the gas port hole is not. It's offset. Um, Not by a huge amount. It's probably not unusable. I would say you'd probably have to chamfer your gas port hole. Um, and not, if you, I mean, I don't drill my gas ports 90 degrees anymore. It's just the risk of breaking a bit is just extremely high if you don't have the original style of jig that they used to do this. So I always drill mine, 90 degrees straight down. If I need more gas, I can chamfer it. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, this is gonna go. The fangs, I don't know why on these kits they cut the fangs off. And if you don't know what I mean, look on any Type 3 gas block or a Chinese Mac 90 gas block, and usually you're supposed to have protrusions that it's a lower claw grip that basically holds the sling loop in place. I don't know why these were chopped on a lot of these. My first kit doesn't have that. It has the fangs on there, but these no Weldman kits. Be careful when you buy them if Atlantic keeps dropping them, because these are getting, I think they're getting towards the rattier ones. If you don't go with a Weldman kit, yeah, they seem to be putting more effort into leaving the nice ones with that. So yeah, the gas block for this kit, the gas block, rear trunnion, stock assembly, that's getting sold off because this is going to be a fixed stock domestic gun. I have a Childers receiver with all the domestic markings, and I have an idea as to how I want to do the rear trunnion. You can cheat and just use like a Chinese rear trunnion if you wanted to. I want to kind of try to go all the way and do like the Type 3 lower tang, and the two-piece stamped trunnion. Basically what they did was they just took they milled out a shelf that has these two lugs at the top. Not on this one specifically, but this top half basically, if you were to cut that on the x-axis like this, they drilled through the lugs and just staked them in place, riveted them in place, and grounded flat on what looks like 14 gauge sheet metal. So it's really interesting. I think that is true for all fixed stock Type 68s. But what isn't true for all of them is not all of them have the lower tang. That seems to be there was a transition to the I guess you could say the more typical, more traditional AKM style. Without that, so trunnion, typical beefed up North Korean style trunnion. The only parts that aren't matching is the top cover. Well, obviously this isn't even from a Type 68, and this gas tube doesn't match, and neither does the rear trunnion. Everything else matches, as far as I can tell. So I verified that both my trunnions are standard size, which is always a pleasant thing to find out. That is an Arab marked export. Most of these, I don't know if I've seen one of these kits with an honest to God North Korean leaf. Because at the base, at the bottom here, it would have a Korean Hangul character. This is an Arab export marking that you'd find on Mahdi's, for example. So it sort of verifies that these went to an Arab-speaking nation at some point in time. Like I said, we're guessing Lebanon. Like a lot of guns, a lot of parts kits. Most of the AK parts kits, they either come from Lebanon nowadays or they come from Romania, if we're still getting guns, Model 63s and RPKs from there, which, since the war in Ukraine, we're not really getting a hell of a whole lot anymore. So, let's see here. North Korean selector with the double holes. This is kind of bent, but that's not too big of a deal. North Korean style front side block. I didn't get a front side post, which it's kind of annoying, but it's not a big deal. This has the lightning cuts. This little tag thing came with it. I don't know what that was. North Korean style recoil guide rod. Extremely rough. And this one is unmarked, from what I can tell, which is fine. I'm not really been out of shape about matching numbers with these things. One, because I wasn't stupid and didn't pay close to $1,000 for these things. $750 was pretty much my limit, and that's only because I had sold a bunch of other stuff and had some spending capital. So, yeah, don't spend $1,500 on the files or on Gunbroker for these things. That's dumb. I mean, if they're anything like even the nicest ones still look rough. Put it to you that way. Bolt matches. This is serial number, 407 at the end. I thought that was a 1 at first, but that looks, I think it's a half stamp 0. That's what I'm calling it anyway, so I'm going to say this bolt matches. Bolt carrier. See, the stampings are kind of crappy on this one. 8407. And you have the unique lightning cuts on the bottom that are indicative of North Korean design. And let's see here. What else do we have? Oh. And the trigger is a milled Type 3 style double hook. That's interesting. This actually looks like a laminated assembly. You can actually see where the lamination's separated on this trigger a little bit. So, like, they stacked pieces of metal together and then just kind of either welded or soldered it together. I don't know. It's unique construction. It looks terrible, but oh, and of course here, let me actually. 1 second, guys. All right, there we go. Had to unload the medicine bottle here, and we just have the miscellaneous stuff that I didn't want to lose. I had these old prescription bottles are fantastic for pens and whatnot. Muzzle nut. I don't think I've ever seen any of these kits have a slant break. They all seem to have just regular muzzle nut protectors. Looks North Korean to me. Also looks really crude and done by hand. That lever, I don't know if that's a replacement or not. Stamped auto trip sear. What else do you have here? Got the barrel pin. Yeah, just the typical bits and pieces you'd find with any AKM kit. So that was on this last drop, which was, what's today, the 11th? So that was earlier. I would say around the 8th is when I actually bought this. So move on to the other kit here shortly, but you know, it's really worth more. This is more of a $500 kit. I mean, the North Korean stuff is cool and all, but it's going to take some work. So just bear that in mind if you do pick one of these up. They were all export guns, no domestic markings whatsoever. All of them had the one in infinity symbol, very similar to Hungarian receivers, and nothing, no Hangul, no Korean or North Korean stars, communist stars whatsoever, except a few of them have them on the rear trunnion. I don't think either of mine do, but some of them do have them. So if you pick one of these kits up, just bear that in mind. AK Builder has the barrels, personally. I People say Thor's barrels are more accurate as far as the profile goes. I don't care, especially since my kits are not matching. I don't have the top cover and gas tube for this, and my other kit is missing it. Unfortunately, is missing its original trunnion, and everything else matches, which is really annoying. So we'll swing over to that first kit here in just a second. And real quick, we're going to go over the first kit, the no Weldman kit that I bought. This was on Atlantic's second or third drop. I don't remember. But this one's a little bit better. So I'm not going to spill all the parts out again because they're largely the same. I don't know why I thought my gas block had fangs, but, I was wrong, I guess, on that one. Kind of sucks. I thought about chopping the ones off of the Mac 90 gas block and welding them on, but I'm not that good with welding to, yeah, that would be difficult. So I'll probably just have to leave it alone as is. It's a small detail, so it really may not matter at the end of the day. But notable differences here. So this is a North Korean style top cover, and it is matching to this kit. So ribbed has an embossment that runs along that side of the top cover, similar-ish to a Type 3, or it's a Type 3 embossment, kind of just runs straight, doesn't curve up like that. And you can see how rough that cutout is from the recoil guide rod. It almost looks like it was done by hand, or finished off by hand at least when they did the stamping. And you will notice that the serials are never on the back of the top cover. So, very interesting piece. It is a North Korean part. Trunnion does not match, like I said before. This came off of a different gun entirely. It's 829. Interestingly enough, is that 829? Yeah, that is, 9829. On the rear trunnion here, I'm guessing it's matching, maybe, because it says we got 289. I don't know if they did that, if they actually did the numbers sequentially or not, but I don't know. I have not peeled this back off yet to see if I have a North Korean star. I have a code here. Let me actually just take that off, since it's got to come off anyway. I need to put some goo off on that. And doesn't look like I have a marking. I had a marking on the other one. I don't know if that counts as the star on the back, but this one does not have it. This one will be built as a underfolder, like it originally was. Grip nut kind of got screwed up there. Don't really know what happened, but I could straighten that out. So that's where things kind of get a little bit ugly on this kit. The latch, gas tube, lever. I don't know if that needs to be replaced. It probably does. I don't know if I can bend that back or straighten it out to where it won't break it. But I don't think it's really operable as is, necessarily. So, rear sight, the leaf itself looks like something fell on it, because you can see we actually have a fracture here. And the whole thing is all the way on the left. So, to fix that, you probably are going to have to cut and re-weld this. So, yeah. What I'm probably going to do is, because these are both Arab exports, the leaf on the other one will go on this one, and I'll sell that leaf. If somebody wants to fix it, they can. I just don't have time for it. And on the fixed stock, there's a guy on the files that actually does repro leaf sights with the Hangul marking, so I'll grab one of those. Like I said, both these guns are more or less fantasy builds, just by the nature of them being all over the place. I did not get a selector stop with this kit, so I'll need to figure that out. What else here? Let's see the bulk carrier number 5651. And on this one, it's pretty bad stamping. 651, I think is what that is. That's what I'm rolling with. Like I said, with these stampings sometimes it's really difficult to figure out if they are actually what they are, because they're just so crude. Underfolder stock's in a little bit of a better condition, which is always good. A little bit of trench art in the handguard. Overall better condition than the other one. No, you can kind of see it. I don't know if I call that like a reverse palm swell or indentation, because it swoops down a little bit here. And I would think that on the actual, on the North Korean handguards, it'd be more pronounced, but who knows, right? North Korean grip, better shape, like I said. And the gas tube, it is very faint, but you can see 5651 on that, so this gas tube, as far as I'm concerned, matches. And a lot better shape than the other one that I had with the other kit. Recoil spring, not in the best condition. I don't know if I want to replace, like, put new springs on this. I don't know if that'll be okay or not, but I'll try it. We'll see what happens. You can sort of see a very faint number. I don't know if that's my number. I see a 6 and a 5, so it could be a matching recoil rod. I don't know. Oh, when I noticed when I was pulling this out, I don't think I had the sling loop on the other kit either, so I got a lot more missing parts on that other one. So, like I said, guys, if you want to buy a North Korean parts kit, just be mindful. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel, I think, with these. Yeah, and you can see the gas port's actually drilled straight on this thing. So, this is a good gas block to use. And again, North Korean style lightning cuts on the front side block. And I don't know if I showed this already, if I can do this one-handed. There we go. Come on. There we go. North Korean style lightning cuts in the bulk carrier. So, not a whole lot that needs to be done here. I have a weldment that I bought secondhand from somebody. I mean, $50 for a weldment, that... I don't know, guys. That's a lot. Because you need that in order. It's spot welded to the inside of the trunnion with 3 spot welds on the bottom, and I think 3 on top as well. And that essentially is what guides the stock assembly. So it's not like the Chinese variant that has indentations and embossments in the receiver itself. Because the North Koreans never went to a 1.5 millimeter sheet metal receiver, to the best of my knowledge. It seems like I'll have to measure what I have on the Childers one. Maybe they have numbers that I don't have, so who knows? But not a horrific kit. Like I said, I got this one when it was cheaper. It was around the $650 mark, $600 mark. So, you know, that will be built as a true honest to God export. And the other one, like I said, will be a clone build. I don't know if I want to go with a rib top cover on both of these, or, like I said, a smooth top cover on the fixed stock. I might just keep my Type 56 top cover. It's pretty ratty looking, I like the aesthetic, and it's not incorrect. But you would know based on the embossment, not the embossment, I'm sorry, but the location of the serial numbers. Like I said, they always put them on the front side here, almost like on a Mac 90. So, yeah, that's just a very high-level overview look at these North Korean parts kits. So, like I said, guys, buyer beware. Just know what you're getting into. These things need some work, and I will try to, if I can, I'll link the parts spreadsheet to the description. There's a lot of guys who have actually been able to find their missing trunnions, their top covers, bolt carriers, etc. Like the people who demelt this did not give a shit whatsoever. They really didn't. But some people have been able to find their missing parts, their missing serial numbers, through a collaborative effort, which is, that's always good to see in the AK community. So. Yep, that's all I got for you guys for today. That was really rough, but hopefully I'll get these things built up. I'll start with the fixed stock and build that one up first, because it would be a real pain in the balls to find my trunnion to this kit and have it built and have it already headspaced on a barrel. So the proper collectible kit, that's going to be later on. Not sure when. Probably when Atlantic stops bringing these in. So yeah, stay tuned on that, guys. So, see ya.